realize what time it was. The following is a special presentation of the Arena Sports Network, where every fan has a voice and every team has a fan. The Arena Sports Network, bringing the spotlight back to the student athlete.
You can't handle the truth.
When you put cameras right in our face, we really don't know what to say.
Oh, I'm supposed to say something?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Don't talk to me today.
Be smart what you say.
You want me to say something?
I got the mic there.
I got nothing funny to say.
I don't either.
I'm not Brett Favre.
Sorry to let them down.
Yeah.
Let's go, guys. It's a game. It's a game out here I want to play in.
Someday with experience, we'll have something funny to say.
Pull out your recorders and hide your children's eyes. You're about to enter the afternoon locker room.
And a very special edition of the afternoon locker room commences here on October 1st. In case you missed it, we'll get you caught up on everything that's been going on. Snowman in the Morning will return tomorrow. But this is the afternoon locker room. It's a special edition, and it's presented by Sowers Ford of Michigan City, Indiana. Well, we have been hinting at an announcement for a long time. It took a lot to put together, but here it is. The Arena Sports Network will be live in Indianapolis, Indiana this Saturday with live play-by-play coverage of the 31st annual Circle City Classic with Central State and Kentucky State. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff Eastern time, 2 p.m. Central. That time has been confirmed. And yours truly will be there with the call of the game on Saturday afternoon. And we have a special 2-hour pregame. That's going to be driven by Sowers Ford. And I'll tell you what, this is 2 years in the making because we had talked about it. And finally we got it. And we just got a lot more things to tell you about as we get ready and get toward that game on Saturday. Well, with that in mind,
when something happens in sports that cannot be explained, there's only one man who can tell us.
What the hell's going on out here?
These are the Lyle Files.
Excellent.
Lyle Files today, driven by Demon Dogs of Alsip, Illinois, the best hot dog stand in Chicagoland. And it's been a while since we've had him on, but he's on with me this afternoon for this very special episode of the Afternoon Locker Room. Mike Lyle joins me. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. To you as well. Are you still on cloud nine, or have you gotten off of that thing just yet?
I don't think I'm going to come down until the game wraps up.
I don't think so either, Brian. And I have to say, this was a very, very big announcement, and I am very proud and honored that you, my son, are going to be on the call for what's going to be a festive weekend out in Indianapolis. I mean, you talk about the Circle City Classic. It's a long tradition they have out there. And you've got two teams who are going to be playing for the 55th time in their history. And you're talking about an NFL stadium like Lucas Oil Stadium, you are in for a royal treat, my friend. There's nothing like HBCU football this time of year. And being an HBCU graduate myself, I've had the opportunity to see some of the best classes I've shot in person, particularly the New York Urban League Classic, the Nation's Football Classic. The list goes on and on and on. So you, my friend, are going to be the front row seat to what's going to be a very fun, exciting matchup between two Division II schools from the CIAC, which is the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association. Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, rather. And it's going to be fun, and you're going to have a great time. And my friend, all I can say to you is this: have fun. I'm going to try my best to be listening to all the action this Saturday afternoon.
I can't wait to call that, because this will be ASN's first NCAA game, and from what I've learned about the SIAC and the ADs that I've spoken to, just this afternoon, they are excited and they're looking forward to the coverage. And this is something we had talked about for a long, long time, having one of these classics on ASN. It's finally going to happen. And, Mike's not the only one that's going to join me on this special episode. I'll have another guest. I'll have him on later. But I begin with this question, and we've talked about it off air. Now we can put it on air with this happening. How big is the broadcast vehicle going to be in the HBCU industry?
It's going to be big because, as you know, HBCUs don't get enough coverage as it is in the mainstream media, Brian. Now, you have another network, the Heritage Sports Radio Network, which also broadcasts a number of college football games. And then I believe every puts in the value for Franklin and Such. And then, of course, you have ESPN, which does mostly youth broadcasts from some of the other Division I black college conferences, and occasionally a couple of Division II. So to have a game on ASF is big. It's probably going to happen. There's have to view my friend as boost up front row seat to this event. I mean, it's big fun to what you have established here. You've been your vision, you've been your goal for a long time. We've talked about this off air, and now it's coming to fruition. So, I mean, we should be popping over some bubbles when we get to Indianapolis this weekend as well before we get started. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people listening in. If people can't listen in to the Heritage Sports Radio Network broadcast, then they definitely have another home in the Internet Sports Network. And I think that you, given the longevity you've had in this business, you are definitely going to add your expertise to the sport of football and give our listeners a taste of what black college football is all about. I can't wait.
You know what? I can't wait either. This is something that my co-founder and my dear friend Alvin Washington and I have talked about for almost 2 decades, having this kind of coverage. A mutual colleague and friend of ours is also putting in some work with the HBCUs, Joshua Jackson, who's the voice of Florida A&M, and he's the guy I'm going to have on here in about a half hour's time. You know, to have that kind of vehicle, and I will insert a word that we've talked about and we can finally make it happen, to have a consistent vehicle to showcase the HBCUs, because the coverage has been paltry at best, save the individual networks for the schools. We got Joshua Jackson at Florida A&M, my other dear friend Chris Hooks, who just became a father recently at North Carolina Central. Outside of those, on a larger scale, it's not happening. Now we have a chance for it to happen with a great rivalry and a great situation and stadium where it's going to be played. Of course, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. It was hosted at the Hoosier Dome, the RCA Dome, from 83 to 2007. Then when Lucas Oil Stadium was built, they moved it over there. It's going to be an experience beyond an experience.
Exactly. And a lot of these kids in the first company, they can taste of what it's like to play in an NFL venue. I mean, you look at HBCUs, Brian, and what's mostly sometimes not talked about, you know, a lot of people talk about how there's a lot of legends from the NFL that have come from HBCU schools. You have Walter Payton, you have Jerry Rice, you have Michael Strahan, you have Antoine Bethea, you have Jay Walker, you have Steve McNair. The list goes on and on and on. That's why you see a lot of these black college schools getting that taste of NFL venue experience, because they're going to be showcasing their talent. Maybe it won't get a lot of national television or radio exposure, but you can better believe there'll be some scouts out there looking at some of those kids who have the potential to come from a Division II program and make it into the NFL ranks. It's happened before, and I will not be surprised if you see some of these kids you're going to be calling the game for. Some of those names you're going to be mentioning, Brian, could be the next wave of players that could make it to the NFL ranks.
You mentioned a couple of great players that came from HBCUs that went on to have very stellar careers. One of the most popular players of all, two of the most popular players of all time, Walter Payton, who spent his entire career with the Bears, and of course the great Jerry Rice, who spent the bulk of his career with the 49ers. Walter Payton from Jackson State and Jerry Rice from Mississippi Valley State, both of the Southwest Athletic Conference. That's not just saying that it's a possibility that it can happen. We're talking about two Hall of Famers coming from HBCUs that had very stellar careers, and that's an understatement. Hall of Fame careers, and even that is a gross understatement because of the impact that they've had in the game. Speaking of Florida A&M, there's a popular Florida A&M alumnus. His name is Nate Newton, who played and had a Super Bowl career with the Dallas Cowboys. So they come from all ranks. They come from all positions, but the impact is definitely huge.
It is. And like I said, you're going to see a lot of scouts out there for this event itself. Now, considering that HBCUs have generated a lot of, like you mentioned, Hall of Fame players, this is one of several black college football classes that take place early September and early October and mid-November, Brian. I mean, I just mentioned at the start of this, I've been to events where I've seen Howard play in the New York Urban League, the Nation's Football Classic. You mentioned the Chicago Football Classic, which took place a few weeks ago. And then you have the Body Classic down in New Orleans between Southern and Grambling. This is always a fun time of year for black college football because you're getting these teams that are going to be playing in NFL venues, probably for the first time and maybe for their last time. And this is their only chance to get shaken from what it's like to be playing on the same playing field that some of the greats have played and excelled on. So to have an event like this on your network, I don't know. I mean, I'm still pinching myself because we have put so much work into making this happen, and here it is. And you, my friend, are going to be seeing a lot of these guys, of course. You may never forget the experience, and you may never forget those players that you're going to mention on the broadcast. And you might want to watch out for some of them, particularly the ones who are going to be most valuable players and going to be standout players, because come April, when the NFL draft comes around, those same players you're going to see in Minneapolis could very well be the ones going to New York for this draft. I kid you not.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. In fact, I'll make a trip back to Indianapolis for the Combine to see some of those players that played in this classic that are going to play on Saturday. Mentioned Nate Newton of Florida A&M. Eric Williams, Newton's line mate from Central State, who had a Super Bowl career, won 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys. Looking at some of the cities where some of these HBCU classics happen, Chicago, Indianapolis, Atlanta, New Orleans. Let's take a peek at the economic impact that they have on the cities that are involved. As I have been told by a couple of folks that have been doing a lot of research for me, nothing less, and we're talking about in the span of a few days up to a week, nothing less than $150,000 into each city, which makes the city more popular. And the impact, especially economically in these times, is huge. Absolutely tremendous.
And also for where the notice a lot of these factors aren't just about generating revenue for cities. They're also trying, a lot of them are urban immigrants that's trying to have scholarships to get those who are less fortunate or not as fortunate an opportunity to go to those colleges that are going to be competing at these classes. Like, you want to see kids from Indianapolis that are going to go to that game this weekend, possibly a chance to go to a school like Kentucky State or Central State. You look at the events like the New York Urban League class, it's probably one of the more popular venues, MetLife Stadium, just a couple of weeks ago between Howard and Morgan State. That always generates a lot of revenue because of the particular location, which is right across the Hudson from New York. And then earlier last month, we had the Nation's Football Class between Howard and Morgan.